party. Quick tip. Here we are. What is it? July 26th. I'm wondering how your July is finishing. And a lot of dealers, it seems like things are slowing down. As a matter of fact, I want to kind of go over the good, the bad, the ugly of some experiences of some of our dealers, and I wanted to go over why your middle bucket management is so important right now. Middle bucket being your 31 to 60 day old cars. I think fresh cars 0 to 30, anything over 60 is aged. But we've always pushed the first 30 strategy. If you want both gross and volume, increase the amount of cars you sell in that first 30 days. You want 65% or more of your sales going out. So that means you need more than 60, 70% in that bucket to carry and to sell. But I'm going to give you a screenshot of the last 180 days of our dealerships. One of our dealerships' experience over the last 180 days, 6 months. We kind of knew this train was coming, but we can't force dealers to make reactions to it because it's obviously their paycheck. When we're trying to encourage them to make adjustments. And where all this is coming from, I just got done with one of our universities, and we had a couple clients that obviously started to bleed through. And looking at their metrics and going through it, I kind of already anticipate what the story was, and it was true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And so if anybody's listening to this on a podcast, you might want to go watch the video, Facebook, on YouTube at some point in time. Now, what you're seeing over here, again, is the last 60 days, and we're looking at percentage of dollars of their inventory by age bucket, 0 to 15, 16 to 30, 31 to 45, 46, 60, and 60 plus. Now, what you're also seeing down below is another 180 days of trending cycles of what they're selling their inventory, what age bucket they're selling their inventory out of. Now, I've always said, again, you want to have 65% or more fresh, less than 25% in this middle bucket, which is what we're going to talk about today, less than 10% age. So you could be selling at that rate because, again, look at the markup. Where's your money being made? Money's not being made down here. When you're losing 660 a copy, it's being made when you can sell a lot up here in the first two buckets, or the first 30. So let me show you what happened. This dealership obviously had a big aging problem. 55% of his inventory was aged at the beginning of the year here in February, January. Our goals at that point in time is not to have a 25%. We want to try to get that middle bucket below 20%. When you have an aging problem, get it below 20%. And in the meantime, increase your sale rate in that middle bucket. And you'll see down here, we're like on February 25th, 21 plus 10 is 31% of their sales were going out 31 to 60. So keep this middle bucket below 25%, get it in the teens if you can, and then just make sure you outsell that bucket. In the meantime, by at least 5%. In the meantime, start chipping away at age. You can see their age is going down. They're selling more age. So that point in time in their experience, it was painful. A lot of their sales were going out after 60 days. It's either pull the Band-Aid off or not. Clear or fix your illness or not. And so they decided to fix that problem. So that window of time of one, getting your middle bucket 25% or low, and if your age problem, hopefully 20% or low, and selling out of that age bucket at an excess of that, could take you a month or two just to get it to that level. Because if you're sitting at 30 or 40% of your inventory in your 30 to 60 right now, it's going to take a while to get that down into the 20s. So if that takes a month or two, that's going to be tough because you still have age cars you're chipping out of, and that means a high percentage of your sales are going out after 30 days. But in the meantime, you want to replenish and bring in some fresh inventory and bring that into your inventory so we can start selling fresh cars to offset this beating. But if it takes you a month or two just to get your middle bucket lined up and you stop the bleeding, then you got to determine how fast do you want to pull the Band-Aid off on this 55% age. Do you want to pace that out over 2 or 3 months? Do you want to do that in 1 month? Again, we're looking at a 6-month window. So they start chipping away at age. And notice, as less inventory was in age, less of their sales were in age. So gross starts getting a little bit better. And this whole time, the yellow and orange, their middle bucket pretty much stayed at 25% or less. And really where their ideal inventory was starting to get there. I mean, we were having right here 65% was fresh, 19 in that middle bucket, 17% age. We're chipping away. That was about the best time their inventory looked. Because guess what happened? Two things. One, notice right here, that middle bucket started to get around 26%. And then right here, that middle bucket got to 38%. Even though the fresh inventory started going down also, but even though their age, what I meant to say, even though their age was only at 12% at that point in time and age was going down, all of a sudden that middle bucket built up past 25%. And guess what happened to their sales? It's barely keeping up with what was sitting in there. So guess what happened to those 31 to 60-day-old cars? They flipped right back to 60. So my guess to them when I seen this, I said, here, let me guess what happened. You had, matter of fact, if we go back to a whole year of data, for a long time, they had a big aging problem. We had to straighten and clean that all up for months, cleaning up that aged inventory. So by the time they got to, here where they had some fresh cars and where they, middle bucket was manageable, that's when they got a little bit soft. What they did was they went, that sucked. We're almost out of the, we're almost out of the smoke now. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And now we have, and part of their problem too is their volume was picking up. So they had to feed the beast. And when you have to feed the beast, that means your turnaround time sometimes slow down because you got a staff used to doing, let's say, 10 cars a week or 30 cars a week, whatever. Now they got to do 40 or 50 cars a week and they're getting behind. And so in the meantime, we got clean inventory. So we get a little soft. We're going, it's, a 10-day-old car. Don't worry about it. Or it's a 20-day-old car and we just got our photos done. So act like it's 1 day old and let's just kind of be soft on that car. But essentially by 21 days, most managers have probably done at least one, if not two price changes by then. They price at day one, maybe in a week or two, they change the price, day 14. And then by day 21, if it's still not moving, they probably made another adjustment. But here we are 20 days into it and we just got our photos done. So guess what? The inventory is looking good. We're making good momentum. Plus our grosses have sucked lately. So let's get a little bit soft. Plus the market shifted all during this time where the inventory was going to get more and more of a loss. If I want to, then I'm taking a 35-day-old car and we're going, hey man, we need to adjust this pricing. Our sale rates have dropped off and you're not getting activity. But by the time they adjust it to the price they needed to, they're going to lose too much money. So they decided to give it another week or two. And when we went and looked at the dealer's inventory, there were cars there that haven't adjusted for a month, 3 or 4 weeks. Again, because they wanted to give it a shot, or it took 2 or 3 weeks to get photos done. Or I just went through a bunch of pain to clearing out gross. I'm finally got my inventory right. So let's get back to selling cars and making money. And then they get back into bad habits. And so I pointed out to this manager at the university, is like, where do you think your inventory is going to be in the next 60 days? Remember, I did a video just the other week, managing twos. Okay. Think of that car that's 1 day old and you want it gone in 2 months or 60 days. What's this market? What's your inventory going to look like by then? Is it going to be better or worse? Well, that puts us in September right now. So it's probably going to be a little worse. Wholesale is probably going to continue to be down. Interest rates just went up, so shoppers will probably still be down. So do I want to own this car 60 days from now? If not, then do something about it. And so if he doesn't start going back through this cycle we had to do, now luckily, what is he at, 31%? And that's about where he was at the end of April here, April, May, June, July. It took about 4 months. He's about where he was 4 months ago. Now, if we would have stayed keel, if we wouldn't have let this middle bucket build up here, okay. And again, I want to point out to you, you go into here and you're going to see, look how much cars were 0 to 15, 40%. They didn't sell because we are holding out on pricing. We're trying to make up gross because the beating we're taking, photos got behind. They end up in the 16 to 30 bucket. Then those cars were like, well, it's only 20 days old. Let's hold off. We just got our photos done. And guess what? Those cars ended up here in the yellow 31 to 45 bucket. Okay. By then, at 31 to 45, we're like, damn, I can't replace the car for the same money. I'm already losing $5,000. So let's give it a little bit long shot. They turn into 46 to 60, and then they then turn out into 60 plus. So we're back to the point where I've got to get their inventory below 25%, if not below 20%. And that might take a couple of weeks. And then I got to go and start working out at their age cars and get their age back down, replenish the fresh, start increasing my fresh sale rate to offset the losses. And we're going to be sitting there for another 2 or 3 months cleaning this back up. Hopefully we get to the inventory all cleaned up before the holiday slowdown, October, November, December. Okay. So that's, again, kind of the good, bad, and ugly, but that's why the middle bucket management is so important. If your inventory has exceeded 25%, and if your sale rate isn't exceeding that by 5%, you're going to be in trouble. We're able to pull this information every day. We're actually able to see if his lead activity is increasing or decreasing with that. And we're able to see, what cars are causing the problem first by their data. Are you heavy in that year? Are you heavy in the segment? Are you heavy in that price point? When's the last time you changed price? Is it converting online? How many leads you have? When's the last time you contacted leads? Here's some leads. You might not have any leads, but here's 10 people on similar vehicles we could try to switch to this car before we drop the price. And then if we have to drop, let's make adjustments. And, let's figure out our problem on our lot and figure out what cars are causing those problems. Figure out if it's a people problem. Do I have people on the car that no one's following up with, or my people not doing the job following up with the leads? And then from there, make it maybe a pricing problem at that point in time. Do I make adjustment on a price? Do I work the leads? Do I do both? Those are the things that you're going to have to analyze before you just pull the trigger and drop in prices right now. Because again, market's going to be all over the place. You've seen it. You price car at 99% 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and it's 102 right now. We pulled up a Toyota at this dealer, Toyota car, 99% a couple of weeks ago, or the 3 or 4 weeks ago when he priced the car. Now he's at 103, I think, 102. Guess what? He drops the price 500. He's back to 99 or 100%. He's back to where he was 3 weeks ago, and that didn't work. So really, he almost has to drop it 700, 750 to 1,000 to even go from 99%, which didn't work, back from to 103. But to get it below that 99%, like let's say 97, because it's a 30-day-old car or 21-day-old car by now, it's probably going to be at least a $750 to $500 drop. Okay, just to get that where he should have adjusted the price 2 weeks ago, and we wouldn't have had to have it. Would have been maybe sold hopefully with a $500 drop instead of $750 or $1,000. So hope this tip was helpful. It was a little bit longer, but if you'd like to see how we can help you out, lotwalker.com, integrating both we're not here to replace your inventory management tool. Those all do a great job. Market data, wholesale data, auction data, all that. Buy list. We take that data, slice and dice it different. We take your CRM, put it into one system, help you manage leads based on inventory and inventory based on leads, and let's get your inventory moving. If you like to find out, lotwalk.com or lotpop.com. Check out our universities too underneath the event. Free university training. All these metrics, with or without being a client, you can come. No cost to you. We do it each month. We're probably going to start pushing out every other month or once a quarter. But we got 2 more coming up in August and September. Then we're going to spread it out like every other month or once a quarter or every 6 months. So take advantage of that now. You can, so you can get ahead of this market change. Hope this was helpful. See you next time.